What's up everyone? In this video, I've got Nate back, and you might recognize him from some of the camera conversation videos about the GH6 and some lenses. And he is an audio engineer, and in this video, we're gonna be talking about audio for video. If you're new here, my name is Caleb, and I've been doing freelance video production since 2012. And this channel is to help you make your own videos, whether you just started or you've been making them for a while, whether you use a GH5 or any other camera. If that's something you're interested in, make sure you hit that subscribe button. All right, so Nate, it's good to have you back, man.
Good to be back.
Can you just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you do?
My name's Nate Peppel. I'm a corporate audio engineer, videographer.
Yep.
I've been kind of in the music world for a long time. I've done audio for about 10 years, maybe a little bit longer, professionally for maybe 8 of those, and done video for maybe 4 years now.
Right on.
And yeah, I've kind of done a lot of different industries regarding that, some management type stuff, but yeah, lately more so podcast, interview, corporate style video stuff, and a little bit of music still.
So we're in his studio right now. Nate, the studio is awesome, and there's a lot of like buttons that I want to push and screens that I want to look at. Maybe we can see some of that a bit later, I don't know. But
That's many hidden things.
It's good to be here. Thanks for letting me come in here.
Yep.
Now, you do a lot of like podcasting, that type of thing.
Yep.
Can you tell us just a little bit, do you do like video podcasts or just the audio podcasts?
Sure.
Like, what does that look like?
It's kind of a split for me.
Yep.
Some clients are a little too afraid to be on camera, or they need more quality control in their message.
Yep.
So I I recorded audio for a pretty popular bank around here today. And that's audio only because they want to be perfect on their message.
Yep.
They want it to be very concise.
Yep.
Some of the stuff is even scripted.
Interesting.
Some of it's free flowing,
Yeah.
but there's so many edits that you just couldn't do it in video
Right.
if you wanted to have people perfect.
Yeah.
And on the other spectrum, like I have people who love video. Some
Yep.
people are really free in conversation. The only edits that I really make are big gaps. If I can make it work on a video cut, or if they mess up or we have a plane overhead
Yeah,
or
right.
something that
On
happens
planes.
on a video set.
Yep.
But podcast video works pretty well because everything's so clean, everything's so direct.
Yep.
And also you have hard cut angles that
Yeah.
you can pop to.
Right on.
I'm usually like left and right
Okay.
side of the table shooter. I still sometimes have like a middle cam, but really like 2 cams kind of gets it done.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. And now you were in the music industry for a while too, like
Yeah.
as a tour manager. Now, did you do like all stage sound and all of that type of thing as well?
So I've done a lot of audio. When I was in my touring days, I was pretty much management, and I
Okay.
was doing a lot more tech stuff because that was kind of my position.
Yep.
Occasionally I would do some audio work with that. But when I was off tour, I was always doing audio work, whether it be studio or live. But yeah, I toured for 4 years.
All right.
Did probably like 2 or 3 months out of every year.
Cool.
So around the US a lot of times.
Man. All right, in this video, we're specifically talking about microphones for the GH5 and any other camera, but microphones for video. So we're gonna go through the different types of microphones, styles of microphones, and then we're gonna talk about what those microphones are good for, or maybe different situations that you'd use these different type of microphones. So we've got a table full of microphones that we're gonna go through, and this is gonna be awesome. I'm almost in like a little dream world right here with all this tech.
If you dream about mics.
All right, so with these videos about audio, this is part 1. We're gonna do it in part 2. For these 2 videos, I want you to comment below some questions that you have about video audio, because in a couple weeks, we're gonna record another video with Nate, and we're gonna take those questions and we're gonna answer those. Well, Nate's gonna answer them because he's the expert in audio. So comment below any questions that you have about specifically video audio. All right, let's go with the Lav mic, because I think the Lav mic is one of the simpler mics to use. When, I guess if you're using just one. Sometimes you run into issues if you're using multiple mics. But
Yeah, sure.
tell us a little bit about the Lav mic. Like, what is it good for? Like, where do you use the Lav mic?
Yeah, so right now we're both mic'd up. We have Lav mics. They're both hidden in our shirts. We kind of noticed that when you're really close to the Lav mic, because it's typically an omnidirectional microphone, you're picking up a lot.
Yep.
And when you have two different microphones at the same time, what happens is a phasing issue.
Mm-hmm.
And it really thins out the sound, really makes it hard to have really detailed control without cutting between mics, which you could do. It's a lot of post-processing. I'm already kind of stating like some issues of Lavs here, but what they're really great for is that, one, they're crazy compact. You know, for you run and gun guys or gals, this is something really good to have in your pack, to have, you know, like a Rode Wireless Go setup, or, you know, even a UHF type setup like these Sennheisers here. But where these come in really handy is, one, they're very compact. You don't need a boom to do this. You can throw this on someone quickly. Another thing where they're really useful is, say you have a shot that's just way too wide, or someone's moving around constantly.
Yeah.
So, you know, like in our second part of this video, we're going to be having me demonstrate some things, right?
Yep.
And I'm going to be moving around the room, and there's just no way, like, it's just you and I in this room.
Right.
You can't get the audio properly if I'm turning away from you.
Yep.
So the Lav comes in handy if you're constantly moving back and forth. You don't have someone who's booming audio to handle this. So it works really well for that. For interviews, it gets it done.
Yep.
I would say, though, if someone is like seated and they're facing a certain direction, you're always going to get a better result out of a boom. Mm-hmm. If all you own is a Lav, obviously that's going to beat the hell out of what's on your camera.
Yep, absolutely.
5 feet away, 10 feet away, whatever it is. So, yeah, the purpose to this is, it might be kind of a backup plan if you're run and gun, you know, getting around the room situation, not having to like carry heavy stuff or stands or booms or any of that. Obviously, they work really good on TV shows, film sets, stuff like that too.
Yeah, those wide shots.
People are moving.
Yeah.
And, you know, those productions, it's a combination.
Yeah.
Kind of like what we have here.
True.
We have a boom, we have this, but in those situations, people are actually moving.
Yeah.
So kind of take the best thing you get, and you really have to place things well. So.
Okay, can you be honest about something?
Sure.
How do you feel when you see an interview that's either, you know, somebody talking either on the web, let's say you see it on Facebook. Do people still use Facebook?
I do.
Or on TV, how do you feel about the little Lav mic showing up on their shirt?
Sure.
Can you be honest?
I used to not really care about it at all. I used to think it was fine. Now that I've learned more and more, and I'm no professional when it comes to mic placement, when it comes to Lavs.
Yep.
There are people who work on TV shows who are so good at doing this. And there are resources out there to like learn how to do that. I'm not going to be your best resource for that. But I think after I've learned more of those techniques and realized that if they can do it in the movies and make it sound really good, I feel like we should be able to do it in way more controlled settings.
Yeah.
So I think it's fine if you want it out in the open, but if you can learn these little techniques to do this, do it.
Awesome.
Because it looks better. It looks like there's no audio in the
cleaner.
shot. It's nice and clean, and I think people could just learn how to do it rather than always take the easy way out and clip it on your shirt.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about the on-camera shotgun mic, maybe the different types that there are, because there's powered ones, there's non-powered ones. And then how about like different situations for the on-camera shotgun mic? Tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. So we have a couple little options here. I think this one by Deity is a lot nicer than this. I think they consider this a shotgun still.
I think
probably
they
just
do.
a condenser. I don't know. It's tiny.
I'll take this.
So these are, if that pops off easily. These are kind of two different variations. This one's probably a lot less expensive than this one. A lot more compact, no battery that needs to be in it. Both really good options. They both have pretty similar results. You know, they're just coming to an 1/8 inch cable here that goes into your camera, which is nice. It's not great. Like having an XLR cable that runs into a professional device, you're going to just have better signal out of it.
Right.
But when it comes to on camera, going to run into the 1/8 inch microphone input, these are kind of your options.
Yeah.
You have these really tiny ones, like the micro size ones.
Which I love these mics.
Yeah, they actually
these are
sound
fantastic. Yep.
Video Micro is a great mic.
Yep.
And then you have this option, which gives you a little bit more power. It's still a good weight. It's not bad. You know, then sometimes you see people who have like a full-size shotgun, and they're trying to go from an XLR into the 1/8 inch, and it sounds horrendous. But let's also remember that, let's also remember that you can have it like on the GH5, you could have the XLR1 adapter. You could do a full-size shotgun mic. If you really need like fantastic audio, maybe you have a cine camera. Maybe you maybe you have the XLR built in. If you have an XLR input on your camera some way, somehow, whatever camera you're using, then you can use a full-size shotgun mic. Whereas if you don't, you need to go something like this that just comes with this 1/8" cable.
Yeah.
It's designed to do that, and it just sounds good.
Direct into the camera.
Yeah.
And then you don't have to sync audio, that type of thing. Okay, now there is, like on this Deity and on like the Rode Pro, there's a little button on there.
Yep.
What is that button for? Like this has like 75.
Yeah. So,
has a little line on it, a little squiggly.
Yeah, this particular mic, I've never actually used this. Does this auto on?
It does, yeah.
Cool.
No. This is the power on. Sorry.
Okay, got it. So, pretty simple mic here. There's gain, there's the on, which I just learned about. And then there's two numbers. There are two numbers, 75 and 150. And what that is it's called a high pass filter. Some people know it as a low cut. And what that's doing is it's creating a curve that's cutting frequencies below 75 hertz or below 150 hertz.
All right.
Different mics are going to have different numbers.
Yep.
And that's like a certain slope too. It's not like really hard cut. It like it's probably like a 6 or 12 dB per octave.
Okay.
That dictates how like steep that slope is going in. So there are frequencies that are going to occur below 75 or below 150, but that's where the curve starts.
Okay.
So situations where you might use that, 75 is probably a good place to be. Like you're getting rid of the really nasty stuff. You're not digging into your voice too much. 150 is a little bit more aggressive. Kind of depends on what you're going for.
Okay.
Like when I'm recording a podcast, in the end, I might be high pass filtering up to 150. But sometimes it's nice to give yourself the option.
Right.
Because you want to have that resonance. You know, like right now, it's probably going to be helpful that we have a little bit more low end in this mic.
Right.
We're going across the room.
Yep.
It'd be nice just to have that information.
Yeah.
Whereas if I were right on the microphone, it's right there.
Yep.
There's more proximity effect. So it'd be more beneficial to like hack a little bit of that out to control it. You can do all this in post, but really it's just controlling the energy on the front end. But you have to know what you're doing. You have to like listen, test stuff, try it. You're not going to
play around with it.
You're not going to butcher your audio if you go with either of these options.
Yeah.
Like if you're at 300 hertz on something, then you might be screwing something up.
Right.
You might be going too far, but just play with it. See what you like. See what works for your post flow. Some of you people might really love 75 or 150 as an option, and you don't have to touch EQ.
Yeah.
If you like, for me, I need to EQ things so heavily in post because everything bothers me.
Yeah. You're hearing everything.
Yeah. My ears are like that. But I've also done videos where I go, like, I don't care.
Right.
Because this is, I can't care.
Yeah.
This is such a fast turnaround thing.
Oh, yeah.
Those are more like vlog type videos.
Yep.
But I'm not going to put on my audio engineering hat for stuff that's just really quick.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Okay, so what are these onboard shotgun mics good for? Like, where would you use these?
Sure. I would use these for very run and gun style situations. And you could use it for your ambience mic. Maybe you're getting some sound samples from it.
That's what I was wondering too. Like it's great to get, audio of the setting, just get that ambient noise.
Yeah, because they're focused, but not like crazy focused. There's like a little bit of the room, but it's still facing a certain direction. So I would say they're great for run and gun style stuff. Usually you're on kind of a wider lens for that type of work anyway, so you're right up in the action. It's great for scratch audio. Like say we have one of these mics right now on the camera across the room. Would we ever use that audio? No. But it creates something that sounds a little bit more clear.
Unless one of these isn't working.
Yeah, we might record the video if that's the case.
That's true.
But it makes something that's a little bit nicer and more focused. So when it comes to syncing audio, it might have an easier job doing that. I don't know. With podcast stuff, I never have a mic like this on. I'm just using onboard cameras. Or onboard microphones. They sound awful.
You would never want to use that unless that's the only mic you have, which if that's the only mic you have, then use it, right?
Yeah, so run and gun, scratch audio, vlog. It's great.
Yeah.
You're right here. You've got the mic really close to you. Honestly, proximity is the name of the game.
Yeah.
Your placement relative to the mic is the answer here. So when you're on a really wide 16 mil look, 24 mil look, this is close enough. This is good enough. It's right on the camera. It's nice and easy.
Picks it up great.
Also, another thing to remember is that you're not limited to putting these just on your camera. This has a 1/4 inch on it. This had a 1/4 inch, but now it just has the 3/8 because I took the adapter out of it. But you can mount this on a boom, and you can put an 1/8 inch headphone extension is really what it's called. It's like 1/8 inch TRS male to 1/8 inch TRS female. And you can boom this across the room.
Yeah. And use it as your boom mic.
And use it as your boom mic. So this is, even this thing, which, you know, who would think, use a $60 mic for a boom? Oh man. It would sound better right here than it would sound across the room.
Absolutely.
So if this is all you have, do it.
All right, so let's talk about, so we talked about the on-camera shotgun mics. Let's talk about the regular shotgun mics. So tell us about what we're using right here. What is this mic specifically? And where would you use this?
Sure. So what I use for a shotgun mic right now is a Rode NTG3. It's the black version.
And that's this one?
Yeah, they make them in a gold and a black finish.
Oh, gold.
It's a pretty long mic, and the longer the mic, the basically what you're looking for on a microphone, a shotgun mic, is this kind of like grill along the side here. And I think they call it like the rejection tube of it. Basically, the longer that is, that a stretch of that is, the more rejection it's going to do off axis to like where the microphone is. It's going to make the pattern tighter. So this one is kind of like middle of the road. I've seen mics that are like this long, you know? It's crazy. It's really hyper focused. This thing for me works really well. It's really, really a brilliant sounding mic. It might not be like demonstrating that right now because we're a little bit farther away. But this thing overhead in an interview.
Normally you'd have it like
super
really
close.
close.
It's an awesome mic for that. You pay for it. It's a $700 microphone. And you need to put it in a professional device. You know, like on the table here we have my Zoom F4 audio recording bag. And that's a great place to start with it. You could use it. We're using an H6 right now that's on the floor. Both Zoom products, really good preamps. You can use in whatever, really, you know. Run it right into cam. But it's just a good sounding mic. You know, I have a dead cat. It's a wind screen that I can put on it. Sometimes it's a little bright without that. Yeah, just like this, but a bigger one. Sometimes it's a little bright without it, I notice. So you can kind of like play with it that way too. If I have it overhead for an interview, and we'll talk about like the boom setup in the placement portion of this video, the boom that I'm using. But I can also kind of do little EQ moves to the top end. Whereas if someone has a little bit darker of a voice, or the room is really dark because it's treated, it's really tight, I can get away with having the cover off of it. Because it gives me a little bit brighter response for interviews. Also, you have to remember that some people don't like doing that because it's not as safe. Because say if it fell into someone's head, it's good to have like that cushion. But not thinking about that, like thinking about the EQ properties of it. Those are things you can do with it, with the dead cat or whatever.
That's why you bring the sandbags to set. Bring the sandbags to set.
To make sure it doesn't fall.
Actually, I had a shoot today and I forgot the sandbags.
Really? I don't even own any.
Oh yeah, just get some off of Amazon and
I'm gonna be
get some sand at the hardware store.
Gonna be a legal problem, seriously.
You definitely don't want those hitting your talent in the face. That's for sure. So normally you would use these for like interview style. Or on set of like if
short films, all of that. It works great for a lot of things though. I mean, even if you're doing voiceover, say you do voiceover for your own video, or you have voiceover talent, and you don't need to own like a Shure SM7B to handle the voiceover. My honest opinion, I love these microphones. I think the NTG3 sounds better as a voiceover mic. It sounds really good. So you can use it for a ton of different things, but as soon as you kind of enter that level of microphones, things start sounding really good. And it's kind of nice. You can do a lot of things with that mic.
Awesome.
Okay, so we're on to, you do a lot of podcasting, and you brought this mic up just a second ago, but you do a lot of podcasting. A lot of people are doing podcast style videos. We've done some with the camera conversations, and you use this. Talk about like some more podcast style microphones.
Sure.
And like, where would you use them? I know like in the gaming realm of YouTube, very popular to have a microphone like this. So tell us a little bit about something like this and where you'd use it.
Yeah, why you would use it.
This is the Shure SM7B. I would say it's arguably one of the most popular podcast microphones right now.
Yep.
There are a few more out there that are all kind of these broadcast standard dynamic microphones. This is a dynamic mic. This one is probably the nicest looking to film. And I imagine that's why it's so popular for film sets, is because one, it sounds really good, but it also looks good for podcasts. So people seem to like them, but it's a dynamic microphone. And that being said, it's a pretty tight pattern where it does best when you're close to it.
You need to be like right up on it.
Yeah. And you could pick me up like this.
Right.
But it's not very direct sounding. It's not as full as it should be. But because we're spending our time here, the capsule's designed to be able to handle that sound pressure level, the proximity effect, the air coming from your voice. It's designed to do that. And what that does is, on a podcast, it allows people to be very direct.
Right. Because
the closer you are to the microphone, the less interaction of the room is brought into your signal.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, right.
So like an extreme example of this is, say you're on the phone call or a phone call with someone. Your phone's here, right next to your ear. You're right next to your mouth.
I use my AirPods. But
sure. But imagine you're using your phone, right? So you're here. And it's very direct for your person to listen to you. Now imagine your phone on speakerphone. It's sitting across the room, and you're having a conversation with them.
Oh, man.
Like the room interaction that's going on within that sounds horrible. So
that'd be hilarious.
That's an extreme example, but like the difference between this and this, huge deal. And when you're on a podcast, you're trying to create tight isolation. I don't want to, if I'm here, I don't want to have too much of your voice.
Right.
Chances are we're not going to be like quite this close if we're doing a podcast.
Yeah, probably not.
But so that's the benefit of dynamic mics, is that they handle high sound pressure levels. This one in particular is nice because it differs from a lot of dynamic mics. So when you take the grill off of this, I don't know if you can see this on cam, but the capsule to this is actually down in here. So you have like a couple inches of air gap.
Yeah.
So one, you have this that's kind of diffusing your air.
Kind of a pop filter type thing.
And honestly, this is really kind of a wide mesh, but it's probably diffusing the air in some way too. But then we have the compression of air in between that gap. So it makes it so you can take a microphone like this and be really close to it.
It's going to eliminate some of those pops. And
Things that you would get on like this mic, also made by Shure. This is like their live performance microphone. The capsule is super close to the top here. And it works well, and it's a lot less expensive, but it's going to have a lot more air being entered into the capsule, and that can sound pretty gnarly. So you might want a windscreen on something like this. That's the downside. The reasons why you use this for live, because then you're that much closer to the capsule.
Right.
But that's kind of the benefit to this guy.
Yeah, cool.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about some Wildcard mics. Like, you got some funky looking mics here. We're going to start over on this side and this guy right here. So tell us a little bit about this little skinny thing.
Okay, so this is a small diaphragm condenser microphone, and it's made by Shure. It is an SM81. Typically what you would use this for is instrument type recording. So say you're someone recording videos of someone playing acoustic guitar, something like that. This might be a really fantastic microphone for your acoustic.
That'd sound real nice.
Yeah, it has a really nice tight pattern. Sounds really, really accurate. Very flat EQ response. So what you put into it it's very accurate to what it is in real life. I've also used this actually as an overhead for boom stuff.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's a condenser versus a shotgun, and sometimes it sounds a little bit better with the room interaction.
Okay.
Sometimes booms get a little, or shotgun mics, get a little bit funky.
Yeah.
So this thing is passed in a bunch of different situations just because I've tried using it. It's a fantastic sounding mic.
Cool.
Pretty decent price for it, but yeah, I would say it's more like for music stuff. But it passes for some film set stuff if you use it properly.
Awesome. All right, so we have this huge one, and this is really heavy too, and I don't want to drop it on my toes.
Here, okay.
But tell us a little bit about this guy right here.
Sounds good. So this one, I left it in its little shock mount here, or big shock mount, however you want to consider it.
Like,
this is...
Didn't get my workout.
It's actually good that you brought this one up. So this is a small diaphragm condenser.
Yep.
And this is a large diaphragm condenser. And that's just meaning that there's a larger size capsule inside of here. This is typically for vocal or voiceover recording type work. And this one in particular is a tube microphone. So there are extra pins that are in here compared to your regular microphone.
XLR,
because it's being supplied power. And I'll actually, to demonstrate it, the shock mount's going with it. So this actually has a tube inside.
No way.
Yeah, 12AX7 tube. And that gets pretty warm. So typically you want to hang these microphones upside down.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you use this mic? It sounds fantastic for vocals, voiceover, stuff like that. Really, really rich three-dimensional sounds.
Yeah.
It's just a nice sounding mic. I actually modified this one. You can't buy this mic in this gold look. It actually comes red. And I changed the capsule out of it years ago.
So you customized that one.
Yeah, so I wired in a different capsule for this. But this is really good for voiceover work.
Yeah.
Typically, you're going to want to be really close to it in whatever position you want.
And you'll probably want to be in almost like a soundproof studio.
Totally.
With that.
And all of these situations with audio, you are always up against how good does your room sound.
Yeah.
Right now, we're in a part of my little studio space. It's kind of like the lounge.
Yep.
It doesn't sound as good as like my mix part of the room.
Right.
Just because it doesn't need to.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, that's what you have that set up for.
Totally. So that's just to say, like, if you get in a really nasty sounding room, bring in acoustic treatment of some sort.
Yeah.
Acoustic blankets. Have processing that you can do on the back end to pull some of the reverb out, to pull some of the noise out of the room, just to tighten it up, because it just makes it distracting if you have a ton of room in a signal. In a lot of situations, we don't get to choose.
Right.
You know, I was filming yesterday in a space that was empty.
Oh.
It was an empty brick thing.
It's like a milk carton.
Yeah, and you do what you can, but it's like there's only so much you can do.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about one more mic here. And this is, I feel like...
Do you remember what it's called?
No, I don't remember what this is called.
This is actually the most fragile of my all.
Yeah. You take it.
It's not the most expensive mic on, but it's really fragile. This is a ribbon microphone. And it's very unique in the sense of it's actually a very old style. It's kind of like the old style of these mics. So this is like very 50s style stuff right here.
It's sweet looking.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. Is it purposeful for a lot of people who are doing video? Probably not.
Yeah.
This is a brilliant microphone for really harsh sounding sources. So for video people, maybe if you do like sound sample stuff,
all right.
If you're doing real, and this is a really sensitive mic. If you take this out in the wind, game over.
Yeah.
You just ruin the microphone.
Yep.
So this is primarily for like guitar amps or percussion.
Yep.
Or I've used it on saxophones or trumpets, stuff that's really like gnarly on your ears.
Yeah.
You know how our ears kind of perceive things very smoothly compared to some microphones?
Yeah.
That's kind of like the translation of this in mic world.
Okay.
It's kind of very like human hearing, very smooth response.
Interesting.
Yeah, so there's purpose for it. For video, I don't know, depends on what you're doing. If you're doing music type recording, it might be the answer to some of your problems. Like if you want something that sounds really good and like you don't mind having something that's a little bit dangerous on set.
I feel like with it in the case like that, it's like the holy grail of microphones.
What's funny about this one is actually this is one of the few times I have it positioned this way. So I put it in a larger case, and you're actually supposed to
keep it up,
store it upright.
Interesting.
Because the ribbon within it, gravity will start pulling it down, and it'll sway out. So you put it upright so it doesn't sag.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, one more thing that we want to talk about before we kind of wrap up this video and move on to part 2 is this bag right here. Can you kind of explain? I'll just hold it. I'll hold it like this.
Okay.
And you kind of explain it a little bit.
So
what is this?
Nothing too crazy. A lot of people do much crazier setups for their field recording bag. But what I have here is a Zoom F4, and it's being powered by this external power supply. I think it's 12 volt power comes out of this thing. And this battery right here, which actually wasn't too expensive, I think it was like $40, powers this rig for 7 hours.
What? So you'd have a day shoot with this?
Yep. And it's really been killer for podcast style stuff or like your boom setup, because you don't have to worry about finding a power outlet. You have really good audio quality. You have 4 channels of XLR coming in. You have a bunch of output options. You can just kind of route audio however you want to, and you're recording to 2 cards at a time if you want. Awesome. So for me, it's been peace of mind, and it's been really handy to not have to bring a computer setup and an interface setup and all of this stuff just to record audio for something.
Absolutely.
And that not being as safe feeling as I'd like it to be. Whereas this, I hear things well. It's really simple. It's self-powered. I get the job done and I upload the files.
Do you normally hang it so it's right here in front?
I actually don't wear it on myself very often. You could. If I were a boom op or something like that, that's really what it's designed for.
But totally.
Yeah, this bag's super durable to the point where you can like hang that on like the handle of a C-stand or something.
Right.
Put it right up next to your audio, and super nice kind of line of sight.
Yeah.
You can also, with those field recorders, much like your H6, you can tripod mount them or something too.
Absolutely.
Put it right in sight. Whatever makes your day easier. Like if I'm watching my audio meters all day, I'll put it in a really ergonomic place.
Especially if you're solo on a shoot, on a client shoot.
You want to make it easy. You want to keep your posture right. You want to like feel good because if you're doing a shoot more than 30 minutes and you're uncomfortable, your body's going to be messed up after a full day.
I hear you.
All right, remember to comment below your questions about audio for video. That in a couple weeks, we'll take those questions and we'll record that, and Nate's gonna answer those. So make sure you comment those questions below. All right, as we wrap up this video, what are some final thoughts that you have about microphones and audio for video?
So I think we have 2 different sectors here. We kind of have people who are more run and gun, maybe vloggers, maybe more budget conscious. And there's kind of a level of audio for that. There we're kind of talking about like a Rode Video Micro, maybe something a little bit more advanced on top of your camera, whatever that is. We're talking about more the budget type lavalier systems, some wireless systems. And those all work really well. And if your primary purpose is to have it on top of your camera and vlog and occasionally do an interview, you're covered.
Yeah, totally.
Boom your audio in if you can. Or have a lav mic. Just have the audio as close as you can. But you can get it done. And what's great about those is that they all can fit in your camera bag super easily without the need of extra gear. On the other end, we're kind of where I'm at with audio stuff and video. And that's using more professional devices. We're talking about having professional mics for podcasts. And there's so many ways you can go with this. This is kind of expensive. But there are tons of options where you can go cheaper. You know, even this can get it done and still have really high quality. You know, it's a fourth of the price. Same thing with interview audio. You know, at this point, we're talking about maybe a more UHF-based lav setup if you're doing something like that, or really high-end wireless, or really high-end. It's a internet, like 2.4 gig based stuff. It's all wireless, but you know what I mean? Those systems are really powerful for that end of it. Or for your shotgun mic, you know, you're looking at something more in this range, like the Rode NTG3. Sennheiser makes some stuff, and tons of brands. You know, it's going to go up from about $500, and you're also going to want to record into something that sounds really good. Really good preamps, whatever workflow works best for you. You have something more portable than I do. We're probably getting about the same level of audio in. I just have like a few more pro features like redundancy and a few more output things.
Auto mix.
Yeah, in case you need to use that. But yeah, I would say that's it. You kind of have 2 different sectors, and as soon as you step into that realm where you need good audio, you need to get good mics, you need to have good cables, you need to have good stands, you need to have good recording options, and you need to have good headphones to be able to hear what you're doing.
Monitor it, right?
You need to know what you're hearing properly.
Awesome.
All right, Nate. Man, this was awesome talking about all these microphones and talking about audio for video, especially for the GH5 shooters. If you found this interesting, make sure you subscribe to this channel. We're gonna do a part 2. We have a part 2 that we're gonna be talking about how to use these microphones in the best possible way for these different situations. So this one, we just focused on the different types of microphones. Now we're gonna take a look at how to use those microphones. So man, thanks for being in this video. It's been awesome. Make sure you check out one of the videos that's popping up down at the bottom of the screen. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.